What is up, guys? Welcome back to Friday Fuel. From unknown to unforgettable. We got some incredible guests today. I'm super excited to bring on in a moment. But let's, as you're tuning in, drop in the comments what your weekly win is and also where you're tuning in from. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona. I was hanging out with one of my buddies, Peter Roberts, which we actually got on in a couple weeks here. But he's from Maryland, and he's like, dang, like this weather's amazing. I could live here all year. And I'm like, you got the good part. Enduring the winter, like enduring the summer, it's worth it in the winter. Like I'm maybe in like a t-shirt. I also wear a light sweater. I like more, I hate being cold. So I'd rather wear a sweatshirt. Like I wear a sweatshirt, even if I might be sweating a little bit. I'd rather have a sweatshirt on than just have a regular shirt on. But yeah, it's funny that he was talking about that, and he's like, "This is perfect," and I'm like, "Just wait till the summer." But yeah, I'm coming in from Phoenix, Ryan, England. Thank you so much for coming in here every single week. Super like I appreciate you hopping in here, brother. So it's definitely cool. My weekly win is just continuing to persevere, even though it doesn't feel like it. I feel like I might be getting sick a little bit. Can't really tell. But just maybe it's the supplements I'm taking. Started 75 hard, got a trainer, and it's been wicked. It's been tough for sure. I just got done with my first workout and cranking like that. I'm just like, geez. So I have a goal. My personal goal, I'm at 219 right now. I'm trying to get down to 200. Guys, it's not all fat, I promise. So I'm definitely trying to get down. So that's my goal. So you guys can follow me on the journey. I'll update you guys every week. But drop in the comments. Thanks so much, Chris. You got snow in Oregon. That's one thing that's the one requirement I told my wife. If it snows there, we can't live there. Because I lived in a place where it lightly snowed and it was miserable. I was driving and somebody was coming down the hill and couldn't stop and like hit me so hard in the intersection. I'm like, I cannot do this. But so yeah, drop in the comments where you guys are coming in from. But again, I appreciate all you guys every time you hop in. I really want to be able to create the most just amount of value to you guys, bring the best guests, the best possible people in the insurance industry. But I might have some other people that are big names outside the industry that are just good guys in business. But I'm super excited to bring this power couple on. We're just talking in the back room, and these guys are the next. I don't know if you guys know who these people are, but next, Alex and Layla, they got that dynamic where it's absolutely crushing it in business. They've been married for a while. Like it's just a really cool dynamic. I'm excited to be able to talk a little bit about that with them, how they balance that dynamic, the work and personal, doing that. But I mean, let me just tell you this, guys. They have a Facebook group organically built, 30,000 members. Like the insurance syndicate, just to give you an example, we're about 5.8 thousand. This is 6 times that with crazy engagement. They got people coming in from all over the place. That thing is growing like rapid fire. So I got a 30,000 member Facebook group. They've generated over $2 million in revenue just from social media. And they have a massive goal, which I'm excited to talk about on here as well. But to have 10,000 agents making over 10,000 in commissions. Think about that. 10,000 agents making over $10,000 a month in commissions, and to be able to have an economic impact of over 1.2 billion, not million. When I was typing it in, I thought I typed M and I was like, oh wait, I have to delete that and click the B. But $1.2 billion of an economic impact. These guys are massive dreamers, massive like go-getters. These guys are really great, awesome people in general. So I'm super excited to bring them on. David and Elle Denning, thank you guys so much for coming on.
Hello. Thank you. What an introduction.
That might be one of the best intros we've ever had, Johnny. I really appreciate it. So,
Of course, guys, of course. Where by the way, where are you guys coming from? Where do you guys live?
we're in southern Florida, in like Cape Coral, Fort Myers region, a couple hours south of
Oh,
Tampa.
okay.
So we
I,
also don't like the snow. We don't
no.
like the cold, and we have the same requirement as you. If it snows, we can't live there.
I was laughing though when you were telling your story because we were in Scottsdale this year in July, and the Airbnb that we were staying at, the air went out. I think it was like the hottest day of the entire year. It was like mid-July or something like that, and the
The
AC
worst
went out.
time.
It was like 120 something
It was
degrees.
so hot. I felt like a hair dryer. Like I walk outside, I just felt like the wind would blow. And in Florida, it's like a cool breeze. But in Arizona, it was just like a hair dryer was blowing in my face and making me feel even more hot. So
Oh my
we
God.
love Arizona at this time of year. It's also like that here in Southwest Florida. We have a ton of snowbirds that come down during the winter, but it's hot in the summer.
Yeah, that's it's funny. My wife and I were thinking about moving to Florida, and then the hurricane hit, and then we're like, all right, let's put that on pause for a little bit.
Yeah, you have
um,
hurricanes.
yeah, but I'm super excited to bring you guys on. You guys are monsters at organic social media reach. And I guess like give us some like pointers on that and like how you well, first of all, how you got into that and how you started like doing that, and then how like agents can really like organically, I mean, do $2 million just from social media. Talk a little bit about that. Well, I mean, David, we can start with you, and then Elle, we could go to you next.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we originally started the social back, we started like a lifestyle business when we both came out of corporate, moving back from South Africa from working over there for a little bit. And we did websites, graphics, marketing for small businesses and startups, and we started the kind of organic social from there for generating our own clients. I remember our first clients ever were from like Reddit. So we got used to doing it there, experimenting, running different strategies, and eventually partnered up with a third partner of ours, Renee, to start Jumpstart Go, and then the marketing for insurance agent side on the for the insurance industry, and really focusing on that area. And that's where we really started diving into our own strategies on group growth, and the organic side. So that's kind of how we got into it. But as far as for agents to implement, I mean, there's two sides, right? As an agent, you're either going to want to generate clients and prospects and referrals off that for growing your production and sales, or generate, where you're recruiting agents and to that opportunity to your agency, to your team as well. So it's kind of two sides to the industry. But I think at the end of the day, it's knowing what are my goals, who's my target audience, and then running strategy in order to make that goal happen. So some of that's just knowing how the algorithm works, which we talk about a lot inside of the group, inside of our programs, and really knowing how to leverage that engagement, that personal profile, and how to use that to really get in front of people, build that know, like, trust, have people reach out to you, really get that exposure. As you see, all the top people in the, not even just the insurance industry, but outside the insurance industry, it's social. It's Alex Ramosi, Cardone, Gary Vee, like all these people have Cody, all Joe, all balance social very heavily. And it's a big opportunity. And I think a lot of people realize, like, if I can at least supplement what I'm doing with social, it makes me more profitable in my business too. So I'm not just concentrating on leads.
Yeah, that's so good. Elle, what are you guys like? What do you guys do? Like, are you guys kind of like do different things? I'm guessing in the business. Like, how's that work?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. David and I definitely have our zones that we own. And so that I think is something, as far as us working together now for like 7 years, basically running business together, being married for 11 of those years. And it's definitely having our areas that we're the decision maker in. And so David he runs a lot of business development, sales team, and really building a lot of like our network relationships. That's a huge area of his business. And I would also say he's more, I'm not sure if anybody's read the book Traction, but it talks about like for every great visionary, I would also say David is a visionary. There's an integrator. So somebody that's able to take the ideas and the big vision and actually lay it out and map it out and put a plan together for execution.
Yeah.
And I fall more in that integrator category. So I do a little bit more on the operations side, marketing side, what I would consider more of like the nuts and bolts pieces of the business. David's out there like making deals happen, casting big vision. And sometimes I have to say, okay, David, we've got one quarter, we can take on one new initiative, one new initiative that we have the capacity to implement in a quarter. And I think that's been an evolution for us to sort of learn that dynamic and to respect each other in that. And it's, of course, something that we're learning more and more about every single day and getting better at.
Yeah, that's definitely it sounds like you guys have the same dynamic as my wife and I, because I'm like the very like dream huge, and then she's like, all right, so how are we gonna make it happen?
Yeah.
And it's definitely that balance for sure, and I love that. So you guys obviously you know how to organically like reach people on social media. Talk about like what you're doing and how you're helping people in that way. And I guess like we'll just stay in one lane and just generating clients. Like what's some advice that you could give on that?
Yeah, as far as how we're helping people, I mean, we focused a lot on just covering some high level social within the Facebook group. We tried to make that kind of a resource for agents to come, have trainings every week inside of there, discussions, all kind of great stuff there. Like we were just doing Facebook profile reviews on our last Facebook Live that we did on Monday in there for some of the audience, and kind of going through on how to optimize that. And then within the programs, really get into, you know, this is exactly how you do a strategy for really acquiring those clients and referrals on a regular basis. But I think what it comes down to initially is, as far as getting clients, is, like I said, understanding the algorithm first, right? Because a lot of agents, like we were talking on Monday, focus on a business page and like trying to build a business page, trying to get likes or followers there, trying to do their content there, not realizing that that really gets no reach, and that isn't really where the opportunities come from. The initial opportunities come through the personal profile, and that's what we really run the strategies around, because Facebook's and all social platforms are built to make money. They make their money for their ads, and they serve ads to people that are hanging out and around their platform. And so, one, they don't want you to get in front of people for free. They want you to pay for ads, so they're not going to really promote the business side, but they're social networks, so they want you connecting and engaging so they can serve people ads. So they prioritize the personal. So that's the first thing, is really utilizing the personal profile, and being comfortable with both yourself personally and your brand being out there in addition to your business side, and really blending the two together. And, you know, and with that, you know, being able to drive engagement. So getting people to respond, like, comment, pay attention to either your personal post, engagement post, blended along with educational, more consultative, you know, approach from the business type of content you're putting out. You know, you're teaching people what's the difference between term and whole life, what goes into a premium, why did I get into the insurance industry, these sort of things that all kind of go together, because like we've all heard, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. And at the end of the day, people work with people, not companies. And so social is your opportunity for that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's really getting comfortable with being able to put yourself out there, and even just, you know, let your audience know what you're doing is really step one that I think a lot of agents are missing. They're scared to be public. They're scared to let people know what they're doing, what my friends and family think. They're scared to get on video, which is the most powerful, really thing out there right now that everything's prioritizing. Like, we've got reels that I've been playing around and dropping with lately, and they just get an insane amount of views because Facebook wants to push that right now. And if you're just not using video, you're missing out on a ton. So, I mean, that's some of the just beginning things, is like getting their profile in place and optimize, starting to put content out there and letting people know what they do, and then going from there.
That's so good. What about you, Elle?
So on the social side, and I think one of the things, there's a couple things. First, I think it really starts with mindset of when people log into social media, starting to really think about it as a revenue generating activity inside of their business if they use it that way. Like, you can easily get on social and scroll your life away and be a consumer of content. So like you're just consuming. But when you make that mindset shift of I'm logging into social media to be a creator and to come on and provide value on this platform for my audience, just like we're doing today, as you know, the syndicate does an amazing job of creating a community that provides value, that leads with value. It's the same idea. You're content creator. And I think when people start having that mindset shift about what social media is and that it's an incredible tool to grow your business, a lot changes in how you show up on social media is the first thing. And then the second thing that I think is really missed a lot is that social media can be a very like quantified lead generation tool. By that, what I mean is like you can actually track your activity that you put into it, just like picking up the phone and making dials. Like you can track every single dial that you make. You can track the number of contacts that you have out of those dials that you're making. The same thing is true with social media. So I think it's really important if you're going to use social media for your business to start tracking your activity that you're doing on social, and start counting the number of conversations that are coming out of your social media activity. Again, layering it in, thinking about this like a business tool, and actually starting to look and see like how many leads are coming out of this, how many conversations are coming out of this. David and I say all the time, conversations are the currency of this business.
Yeah.
It's all about conversation. So really thinking about it as a lead generation tool. And then the last thing I'll say to just like add on to that is to put content out that has clear call to actions that can be very simple, and you like do it great on this Facebook Live, like write me in the comments, or if you want to learn more, write this word. And that person that's commenting me, that person that is writing a keyword to take that next step, that's a lead now in your pipeline. That's somebody now that you can follow up with and have a conversation with.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting because I kept seeing it, like people do it. And I was like, honestly, I feel like I could do this. So like I made a video the other day and I was like, just like the clear like call to action. And it was cool because yesterday I put like 2 videos out and like there was like 3 people that commented. I was like, oh wow, this is like so easy.
3 leads right there.
Yep.
It's crazy because the biggest hang up for me was like having to edit my stuff right on like TikTok or whatever, like with the words. And now I didn't know that they made it where you literally just click the button and all of a sudden it auto like types that out for you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is life changing. So like yesterday I went out 4 minutes, took a few videos, and now I have content. And I was like, wow, life just got so much easier. So
yes,
I love that for sure. So you guys, by the way, Brian's asking, what is the Facebook group called?
Very simple. Marketing for insurance agents. We got very lucky with the name, or actually very strategic with the name. Like, just like we talk with agents about like clearly having like who they help and what they help them with. Like that same thing goes for like naming a group, for example, like what are you doing and who's it for? And so same thing with agents, like who do you help and what do you help them with? Like I help senior couples with grandkids protect their legacies and their future through insurance. Okay, that is a good, who am I helping my target audience? What am I helping them ultimately with through insurance? And so that's kind of part of the naming behind marketing for insurance agents.
You said marketing for insurance agents. Easy money.
Should be the first thing.
So how'd you guys even so you guys just started building an agency talk me through what that process was like to get to that spot where you're like, all right, we're going to start building an agency.
I think it was always in the plans. Like we always wanted to build an agency. We kind of did it backwards from a lot of people initially in the industry. A lot of people initially get their license, they start working, they start producing, they build a team, and then they build their agency. And they, whether at the very beginning or as they're successfully producing, start to build a team like, hey, I have track history, come work with this opportunity and I'll show you how to do this as well. So we kind of came from the very opposite side of we came from marketing backgrounds and from developing and building businesses and helping businesses grow and scale. And then we brought that to the insurance industry, which in a lot of cases is an area that the industry struggled a lot with. It's always, how do I generate leads? How do I generate opportunities? How to generate the pipeline? Most agents, whether it's true or not, will say, hey, if I can just get leads in front of me, I'll close them. My sales skills are not an issue. And I listen to some of the sales calls and I'm like, yeah, your sales calls might be the issue, or your sales skills may be the issue, but everybody's going to tell you it's leads, right? And so that's where we came in like, hey, we know social, we know marketing. Let's come in and let's, our partner had a background in the insurance industry and let's bring this in the insurance industry. And so we started building the group and we'd spend, all day long just having calls with agents, finding out those pain points, those problems, really learn the industry really, really well over the years. And as the group grew and grew and grew, and really looking to solve those pain points for them and eventually putting together programs with coaches and curriculum and trainings where we worked in depth with them and we were able to help them double, triple, quadruple production, double the entire agency's revenue, really grow and scale and have really awesome results that then we knew like, okay, we have an audience, we have trust, they know who we are, they know that we're truly looking to help them. We have programs with proven track history. It makes sense to start the agency and being able to personally dive in and help people through that. And so we looked for a long time on who are we going to partner with, what's really important to us, what do we really want. Big thing from us was like kind of staying away. I don't know if you noticed, there's tends to be a lot of drama in this industry a little bit. And we're like, we don't really want to deal with any of that or talk about. So whoever we partner with, we kind of want it to be a very focused, hey, we're here to build, to help people. And that's what we want to do. So that's what ultimately led us to kind of the decision on that we made on that side. And we wanted something that was very scalable, good system, allows us to bring in our areas of expertise and build even more upon that. And so that's kind of what led to that.
That's so good. So Jerry Rufino asked, in your experience, what do you think most insurance agents fail outside of leads, or why?
Elle, you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, it comes back down to mindset, in my opinion. But I think the way that manifests itself is fear. So the ability to be comfortable in being uncomfortable. Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yo, what up?
So I think anybody that is willing to like be okay doing the hard things, even when they're scared or they don't know how, and having a mindset of learning and a fail fast mindset, and like I like to call like a test and learn mindset. So where they're willing to test and see what works. And if if it doesn't work, okay, moving on to the next thing and keep testing.
Preach it.
I would say that's the number one thing. Because if you can try things fast and be okay, like hearing no a lot, being okay putting yourself out there. It's the same thing. Like our clients that are most successful on social media, they're not the best or the most well-spoken at first, but they do it, and they do it consistently over and over and over again. So I think that mindset is key in having success, not just in the insurance industry, but as a business owner in any level of entrepreneurship. You have to be willing to test and learn from the multiple tests that you're doing, because that's what we're all out here doing. That's what marketing is. We're just testing and we're learning from our tests, and what works we keep, what doesn't work we let it go and we move on to the next.
Yep.
And
that's so good. Daniel, We just, for example, Facebook user, let StreamYard see who you are, so that I can know who we're talking with. But Daniel's getting fueled up.
Love it.
Spot on with the consistency. Let's go, Ryan. Drop in the comments one thing that you're going to implement into your business now, because I mean that's really big, for sure. David, what about you?
I was gonna say, well, I was gonna point out Ryan's comment earlier about the getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's something we talk to our clients a lot about, and everybody.
Yeah.
And really, like, Elle's gonna remember who's actually said this quote, but I think it might have been Tim Ferriss, on that your success will be directly correlated with your ability to be uncomfortable. And
so good.
Tim Ferriss? Okay, I got that right. Okay. So, and that's really true. It's the people that are scared to do the things that make them uncomfortable are not the ones that achieve the success. Even if you get it wrong, it's a learning experience, and your ability to make yourself uncomfortable is what leads to results. Kind of like, posting your first video. Like, we had clients who did their very first video, they're scared to death. They shot it like 80 times or whatever and overthought it a ton and put it out, and then they get like 3 quotes off of their very first video. And they're like, oh my gosh, why haven't I been doing this? And I was like, why haven't you? I've been scared. And so, I think that's big. And Elle definitely took the first thing I would have said, which would have been mindset. But I think a lot of that too is that activity and realizing you're not going to get stuff perfect. So just being able to learn from mistakes and do something, and be able to learn and then get the results there, and realize it's like a continuous improvement cycle. Like, I'm always going to be getting better, whether I'm learning from hopping on webinars like this, or I'm reading books, or I'm having coaching and consulting. I have mentors, I have an upline. I'm constantly learning and improving, knowing that there's areas that I don't know something about, and I'm going to learn it. And then now I know that area. Now I can keep on growing and scaling. So I think that's the thing, is agents got to continuously look what's going to give me the next skill, next level up. Because especially as you're building a team, your team can only rise to your level. So you got to keep leveling up if you want your team to level up.
True. Yeah. I mean, we already got people coming in. Chris is going to start implementing videos. We got Ryan. Video content is our goal to jump into in 2023. One piece of advice I'd give you, Ryan, is now's a good time to start. Maybe put up 1 video, maybe put up 2, whatever it is, right? So December is the perfect time to get ahead of people. Because I mean, for me, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, everybody, like, because everybody gets excited and motivated, right? In like at the beginning of the year, why not start now? I get a full month of building habits, and then I get that motivation. Boom, it's over. Because right when everybody's getting motivated, I already been doing it for the past month, and then you start compounding that over and over again. That's been my mindset. So I love it, Ryan. All you guys, I'm going to hold you guys accountable. So you guys got to come back next week, and I'm going to ask you guys, see how this is going. Joe said, don't get me going on Facebook Lives about pet insurance.
That's a good story. That's a good story.
Oh my gosh, that is too good. Joe quoted 15K one day after they made us go live. Jeez.
Yeah, we in the Closers Click, we're doing a training, and we said, hey, everybody stop, everybody go live right now. Just pick a topic about an area of insurance you offer. Try to blend in a story or something about that, and go live right now. Do a 30-second, minute, something like that. So Joe chose pet insurance because he's like, I think he had Moses there with him, his Great Dane, and was like, hey, we offer pet insurance as we do. And then we checked in with Joe later that day. Hey, how'd that go? And he's like, quoted like 15,000 pet insurance today or ever from that. And it's like, didn't tell anybody who was going live, just went live. And people were like, ooh, I need that.
Oh,
who doesn't want to protect their pet, right?
Too good. Ryan, appreciate you, man. No time like the present, Brian says.
Love it.
That's 100% true. That's a good idea. So he said, worst video I've ever done. Guess what? It still works.
Not about
the ones that we think are the worst actually do the best. People like to see people just sort of like in their element, if you will, kind of doing their thing, like behind the scenes. People love that stuff, and the algorithm really likes it too. The algorithm doesn't like super polished. That's for ads. That's for businesses. The algorithm likes to showcase people. So
some of the
yeah, well, what's funny is like I would definitely stop like I would scroll. If I saw him with his dog, I'd be like, wait, what is this dude talking about? That is too funny. So Ryan asked, if you were to say where to start, would you start on Facebook, Insta Reels, or YouTube Shorts? That is a great question.
So, I mean, I would say you can actually leverage all three, right? Like
just
there's repurposing content, right?
Yeah.
You go look at Hermosi, go look at Gary Vee, you know, they create content and that content goes to multiple platforms, especially when they're rewarding similar things right now. So TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Reels, and even Stories a bit are all rewarding short form content. If you can make good short form content, which doesn't even have to be good, you just need to make it, put it out there in some cases.
Yeah.
It will reward it. So I would
Yeah.
say, like, over long-term strategy, like, where's your target audience? Like, if you're focusing on Gen Z and young millennials, you know, why they're on, some might be on Facebook. It's not generally the biggest platform. TikTok, YouTube Shorts is probably going to be bigger than that. But if you're focusing on older millennials and seniors and things like that, Facebook's huge audience for that. So
yeah,
I can kind of play a part of it too. The main thing is just get started and do it and test it. Like, you know, you never know what's going to hit sometimes. Like, we create videos and we put them out and we kind of see what happens. And some of the latest ones that I guess some people are really liking is Elle rides dressage, which is like horse ballet or whatever, and does lessons on Saturdays. So I'm out at the barn with her and I'm like, well, I got all these horses here. I'm going to interview the horses. So I literally just went around from horse to horse, asking them marketing tips, and the horses gave me marketing tips and stuff. And I just shot a whole like 15 videos or whatever with these horses. And we started putting them on TikTok and some other stuff. And people seem to like the videos of the horses giving me marketing tips. I don't know. It was silly. It took me like 10 minutes. I was like, I don't know, people may hate these, whatever. I don't care. And I don't know. People, animals and kids do great, guys. So go legally find some of those and use those for your videos. So
that's so good. Chris said, I'll be wearing my Christmas suit, should catch attention.
Better than the birthday suit. Yeah. So
that's good,
I had to read that twice.
I love it.
Christmas suit will definitely catch attention.
Practice on the horses. Exactly.
Yes.
Why not?
Right.
That just goes back to that test and learn mindset. Like, you really don't know until you test it. So like,
that's such a marketing thing for sure. Like, if I've ever heard one. Ryan saying Elle is the bomb.
Thanks, Ryan. You're the
bomb. That's awesome. So one quick question, and then we'll wrap up here. Have you guys tested on TikTok ads or no?
Oh,
yes. We're still testing and learning. How about that for an answer? So the kind of like with Facebook, and the thing with TikTok is right now is like the platform is so new. It's actually like organic is great. So one of the things, part of the strategy for TikTok is really the more content that you can get out. This is like a perfect sort of like cherry on top of this conversation, because the more content and the different types of content that you can get out on TikTok, the algorithm is really good in giving you feedback on what people actually want and what people are responding to. So you can test organically with TikTok and then take that and then start putting, you know, like $10 or $20 a day behind your ad spend to really like boost that your reach and build followers as well. And which is a big thing on TikTok as far as your profile goes, is you have to have that 1,000 followers to get the link in your bio. So you can use ads to kind of help get more followers so that you can unlock that next level to get the link in the bio. But we're pretty new on testing with TikTok. It's something that we're currently doing right now inside of our organization for ourselves. But so Facebook is our primary platform. So we're just getting started with testing and learning on the TikTok platform.
Totally. Ryan asked a really good question. For a guy who's never been on TikTok, how's the best way to bring our business into what seems to be an organic, personal platform? That is an amazing question, but I think it's not as confusing as you might think.
It's bringing yourself to the platform, right? Like, I think a lot of us view like the business is separate from us, and like we want to talk about a faceless entity, our business or our agency, our name, and then we want to be back here personally and separate from it. And reality is the same thing. Like, and platforms reward the personal side. If you just go on and like it's this faceless entity business that you're promoting and generic content, it will fail miserably. That's not what the world wants to see. That's not what it rewards. This is why the big brands, it's them talking, and they are their brand and building that. And so I think that's really key, is you market yourself and you market your brand, which can be your company, but it's you that's on there. So you got to bring yourself personally to TikTok. One of the examples is, I think he's actually in Syndicate, because I saw a thread the other day, is was he like Easy Insurance or something? I'm trying to remember his exact name, because I follow him on TikTok, and he's an insurance agent and does hilarious content or whatever of him like doing cold calls and getting yelled at, or going out and wearing sweatshirts says things on them, talking to people at the parks. But it's hilarious content of basically what not to do. But he's got a huge Elijah Goodman. Yes, absolutely. Elijah is hilarious on TikTok and has built, I think he's got over 1 million followers. He's got a ton of followers on TikTok from doing that type of content. And that leads to all kinds of opportunities. I don't think he's really using it for client generation necessarily, but he's built a big brand on TikTok from doing that, just from making fun videos, which is huge. And I think the one thing to point out that's a little bit different about TikTok is TikTok, yes, you do build followers and everything there, but TikTok is different in a lot of platforms in that it treats every single piece of content individually. So like, Facebook, runs a little bit similar, as like if you post a piece of content, Facebook's going to test it out to a portion of your audience, see how it does, and then expand it to more. But Facebook looks at overall your engagement rate and your amount of followers, all that sort of stuff, to decide how much even initially to push content. Whereas TikTok is the biggest opportunity to go viral, because every piece of content is individual. You could have videos getting 10 views and 15 views, and all of a sudden you have a view that gets millions, because that piece of content hit and got in front of the right audience and they loved it, and then TikTok kept pushing it and pushing it. So that's actually how part of the TikTok algorithm is, it gives it in front of a certain amount of people, sees how much engagement that gets, then it'll push it to the next amount of people, sees how much engagement it gets, and that's how you really stack that up on that side. So TikTok's fun because you can test a ton of things, and even if something doesn't hit, it doesn't really hurt you, because each piece of content is totally individual.
Yeah. That is so good. Is the content you've done with Reels under Facebook group's name?
We do have Reels in the group. I put out some Reels on my personal profile. I'm not sure if you're using it on the personal profile yet, because you're the one usually posting them in the group.
Yeah. In the group, the Reels will be under my personal profile. So we have them in the group. We post from our own personal profiles as well. Also, we haven't talked too much about it, but using stories as well for short form content on Facebook. It looks like Facebook might be rolling out, making a change here, but historically stories has been where people respond. It goes directly in DM. So if you are putting a clear call to action at the end of your story and somebody's responding to that, guess what? You are already in DM conversation with them. So which also helps build affinity with you and that person and the algorithm and everything as well. So stories are also a great way to be using that short form content. But yes, you can find the Reels on David's personal profile or in the Marketing for Insurance Agents Facebook group.
That is so good. Well, what's as we wrap up, like what's one piece of advice you guys could give in turn, like in any way? Like I think social media, I think, is a great way, but if you guys have another piece, like whatever, but I think like what's a great piece of advice you could give an agent that somebody could practically implement this week?
Sure. Yeah. One, the first thing is taking action. Go do some pieces of video content. I don't care, 30 seconds, a minute. It's just you holding up your phone. Actually, that does really well. And shooting a video, putting it out. If you haven't done that before, that's my challenge to you. If you have done video before, consistently trying to do a video every day, for example, and putting that out, I think is my action item. The second is, if you want to keep leveling yourself up and improving, find a coach, mentor, whoever that is, and start that continuous cycle of improvement. because that's one thing we wish we would have invested in and done a way earlier in our business, because we grew, but we grew very slowly. And then when we started investing in things we didn't know and mentors and guides in that, every dollar was a 10x return off of that. And, you know, we spent hundreds of thousands on that, which has returned millions. So it's easily the best investment you can ever make, is growing yourself personally and your skill sets.
Yeah. Elle, what about you?
Do something that scares you every single day. Do one thing that scares you every day.
Drop in the comments what's one thing that scares you guys and one thing you're going to do and implement today. It's really good. Go ahead. Wait, sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's my one piece of advice is, like, if it's wherever you're at in your journey, like the fear, the business ownership, of entrepreneurship, the fear will never go away. And if it does, then you basically are stopping growing. So if you want to be an entrepreneur that constantly grows, you have to continue mastering new skill sets, trying new things. Otherwise, like, if you master everything and you're a master, then like you're obviously not growing. So that's something that I take to heart, that as long as I'm doing something that scares me every single day, I'm trying something new, I'm applying myself to master a new skill, and I'm growing as an entrepreneur, as a person, and my business is going to grow as a result of that.
That is so good. Well, you guys have been great. I really appreciate you guys coming on. And for you guys watching, Brian, Ryan, all you guys coming on, Chris coming on, Joe, every single week after week, commenting, really engaging. I really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much for watching to the end. How can people reach out to you guys, or go in your Facebook group, or just learn more about what you guys do?
So, I mean, they can literally just go to Marketing for Insurance Agents and just join the group there. We would love to have them part of the community. It's an awesome group of agents that are just in a positive environment, looking to grow, scale, learn, and we try to make it a great resource for them. But also, I literally personally respond to all my DMs. So if you send me a DM, a message, anything like that, I will respond to you. So you've got a question, you want to reach out, you want to just say hi, anything like that, shoot me a DM. Always, I live on Facebook and social, so I will see it, I will respond to it, and I do mean that. So yeah,
that's awesome. Well, appreciate you guys coming on. I mean, we got Brian, super valuable content. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, somebody's already saying going to follow now. So
I did have one thing from what Elle was talking about. Do one thing that you fear every day. If someone's looking for a framework around that, Tim Ferriss actually has a really good framework around that called fear setting. And the fear setting exercises, we do those with our clients and audience a lot. It really helps you like realize your fears and that they aren't actually as like critical as you think they are, or it will be as impactful, but the opportunities from you not doing those are too big to not take action on those fears and stuff. And one of the examples he does of like people getting comfortable with doing something that scares them every day is he has like the coffee challenge. It's like where you go into your coffee place and you ask for 10 or 15% off just because.
Yeah,
they might say no, they might say yes, and then the advanced version of that is like going into a store or a grocery store and laying down on the floor for like 30 seconds and just getting on the floor, not saying a word, just laying on the floor. People stare at you and then get up after 30 seconds and walk out. That'll it's like door knocking, right, Johnny? How'd you feel the very first time you went and door knocked the door?
Oh, dude, it was not easy, that's for sure. But it's like I decided I'm never doing that again.
But you did it.
Yeah. That reminds me of my. I was one of the first times I was cold calling. Like there was a person on the other line and I didn't know what to say, so I just hung up. That's.
I think everybody's probably done that. I mean,
sure. I might have done that the first time I ever called someone too. Yeah. Wrong number.
Yeah. It's been fun, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and thank you guys so much for watching to the end every single Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you guys so much for coming onto the channel. And I appreciate you guys seriously every single time. Like when you guys engaging, you guys commenting, you guys showing up. One is like really helping me out, but two, it's like really helping you out, really getting you set for the right time of the day. So we got shows every single day, Monday through Saturday, same time every week. And we got Friday Fuel coming next week again. Drop in the comments if you'll be there, and appreciate you guys. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Make it a great Friday. Have a great one.